Today is May 25th, 2025, the Sunday before Memorial Day. So I'm here in Torrington, Connecticut. I've been here before, and Torrington is the home where I grew up. Yeah, I was born and raised here in Torrington, Connecticut. So this is my turf. I live in Simsbury now, but I've lived in Torrington way more than I ever lived anywhere else at one time. So that's why I'm here. I like going other places, but honestly, Torrington is the place where I like to go best. And I'm standing here like a fortress. Good, how you doing?
I saw you walk by with the signs. I'm gonna read.
Yep, standing for the unborn in the name of Jesus, because I'm a Christian.
Never mind just Jesus. Look at the Constitution. We, the people of the United States of America, were granted inalienable rights.
That's right.
But two people make a decision. One people decides if somebody lives and dies. I'm sorry, I'm not a politician. You know, and me personally, I went in the military, patriotism in the 80s and stuff, and nothing personal. I friggin' regret it. You know what the best I get is? Thanks for serving. I've been in a homeless condition for 13 years with the VA helping me look for an apartment.
Wow, that's rough.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I've had 2 years of stable housing, and I had to take the first house they showed me.
Wow.
My
Yeah.
social worker goes, "There's an empty apartment over there. Let's go look at it." "Well, are you going to take it?" "I don't know." So he doesn't take it. So now I was in a homeless condition for 7 or 8 years. Guess what I did the next apartment he showed me?
What's that?
Grabbed it.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I don't know. I just...
How you doing? What do you think, sir?
Hey,
Standing for the unborn, little babies.
I agree with you 100%.
God bless you, sir.
All right, I'll leave you alone. I'll
All
get
right.
back to your business.
Hang in there. Hang in there.
Hey, you want a milkshake?
No, thank you. I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. How you doing? Good. I'm a voice for the unborn babies that are continually... What's that?
Let's take care of the door.
They're human beings though, right? Oh, just keep walking. You can't win the argument because they're human beings. Same philosophy as the Nazis and the slaveholders. Same philosophy. Keep walking. Keep walking. So anyways, I grew up in Torrington, Connecticut. I've made other videos here and I always mention that. I'm very familiar with these streets. Been in most of these buildings, on top of these buildings. We used to go on top of the Torrington Tower. We snuck up to the top floor, found the door open, and we hung around the roof for a while. Used to work at the Warner Theater. Crawled through every nook and cranny of that while I worked there as an usher and a marquee. And I actually used to, if you see the manhole covers, my buddies and I, we used to crawl under the city of Torrington. There is a network of a drainage system of pipes that are, some of them are 6 feet in diameter. Some of them you have to crawl on your hands and knees. And my buddies and I, we used to crawl through the drainage system. We used to call it the sewer system, but there was no, human waste in it. It was just where all the streams and rivers of Torrington that used to be here when it was farmland They just channeled all that and put it underneath in a whole labyrinth of pipes. And so we would we'd crawl all through the town. All through the town. I think we would go for miles. We used to go, there's an entrance, it's probably fenced off now, but we used to go off of East Main. Me and my buddies would crawl in. There's another one right along Route 8 we'd crawl into. This is before I was saved. And maybe I might have been even saved during that time, but I had a difficult time withdrawing from the group of guys that I hung out with. Jesus was getting a hold of my heart, changing my heart. And, you know, we would drink and smoke pot, and I never smoked cigarettes, smoked pot, get into a lot of trouble here in the streets of Torrington. I grew up actually in Burrville, and I always like to differentiate Burrville from Torrington, but Burrville is a little, I guess you would say, a suburb. The city of Torrington, the town of Burrville. And honestly, in a lot of ways, it was an idyllic childhood that I had. Not that everything was perfect or beautiful. My parents were not Christians, and they had major problems and used to fight terribly, and me and my siblings would fight terribly, and, all of us neighborhood kids would play together and fight together. And we had the Burrville store. We lived up on Hayden Hill, and we would walk down to the Burrville store with Dante Lanabuco, Leonard, I can't remember what his last name was. It'll come to me. Go down to the Burrville store, quarter, buy some Slim Jims, some Welch's grape soda, or a thing of pepperoni. Mike Deacon and I used to do that. Walk up to Burr Pond. We used to climb up the river that led to Burr Pond. Gail Borden's first condensed milk factory was on that road. Had friends, the Bennetts, down at the bottom of Burr Mountain. Used to ride my bike up and down Burr Mountain Road. Dangerous, dangerous. Yeah, play hide and seek, play army. Go out hunting in the woods. There were woods back then, and you could just go out in the woods and just walk and walk and walk. And the pipeline, we would slide down on the frozen snowmobile trails. We'd stay out there for hours, playing, hunting, building forts, doing all kinds of fun kid stuff until, you know, we started getting into trouble, getting into marijuana when I was, golly, what was I? 12? I don't know. I was pretty young. I don't think I was a freshman in high school. I think I went into a freshman in high school. I think I was 12. When I went in, I'd have to do the arithmetic. I graduated when I was 17. My parents sent me to school a year early, so I was 4 years old. Just turned, I guess I was 4, and then I turned 5 as the year was going on, rather than waiting a year, which would have been better for me developmentally, because it was tough for me. I was a little kid going into school at 4 years old, but staying home wasn't any good because my elder brother and my elder sister were gone, went to school, and all I was doing was bored out of my gourd. As a little 4-year-old wandering around the house. I remember when my sister went, it was just really difficult. Listening to Mary Poppins and Paul Simon and Garfunkel records. As a little kid, I got to use the record player. Went to Burrville School, went to Wetmore School for kindergarten. I don't know if everybody cares about this. Nobody cares, but it gives me an opportunity to think and talk while I stand here. How you doing? Good. What do you think?
I'm against abortion.
Yeah. It needs to be abolished, not regulated, too.
I don't
Yeah, I mean, it kills little innocent human beings. And the world is hard-hearted. You know, I'm a Christian and I follow Jesus Christ. And because I'm a Christian, the Bible says, thou shalt not murder. And we live in a time where we're murdering innocent babies. And everybody's hard, not everybody, but a lot of people, you're not. Everybody's hard-hearted. Yep, it is a shame. Yep, thank you. Born, conceived, yeah. I know, and all of us were in the womb at one time or another. You know, yeah. Well, God bless you. Went to Wetmore School for kindergarten. Mrs. Ellis, I think was my teacher. Then I went to Burrville School for 1st and 2nd grade, 2-room schoolhouse. Well, I had a little more rooms than that, but 2-classroom schoolhouse. Mrs. Tino and Mrs. Minery. Mrs. Minery, a good Irish. I don't know if she was Irish, her husband was. He had one arm, lost it in the war. And school was different back then. I mean, we learned the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. Mrs. Minery got in trouble because she got found out she used to chain kids to their desks. I remember even a teacher, maybe I should have mentioned his name, Mr. Bonagide, puts my cousin in the closet. That was 6th grade. How you doing, sir? What do you think? What do you think? I'm standing for unborn babies. But she got in trouble because she used to chain kids. I never got chained by her. I don't know if I was more well-behaved back then, but it was a big controversy. And I think they wrote her up in the paper or something. And then after 1st and 2nd grade, I went back to Wetmore. 4th grade, Mrs. Tino. 5th grade. Oh, I could see the guy's face. I can't think of it. I gave that man a lot of trouble. Sad to say. Then 6th grade, Mr. Bonagide, he was the one that put my cousin in the closet, disciplined him. He had a bit of a temper sometimes. I remember him carrying Brian Clapper. I remember he had him by the neck, was carrying him across the playground. I remember Brian Clapper's face was beet red. He was being choked. I had Miss O'Gorman too. There's an Irish name for you. What grade was she? 4th, 5th, 6th. Huh. Can't remember totally. Then 7th grade, we were Hellraisers. We were the worst bunch of kids. Used to drive our teachers crazy. Oh my goodness, so rebellious, so sinful. But you know, public school is not designed to educate. Public school is designed ultimately to break up the family. Look up the book, The Angry History of American Education. John Taylor Gatto, teacher of the year of New York State, New York City, several years. Really profound book, and he documents how the public school education system was designed to destroy the family and make a working class. It is well documented. How you doing, sir? What do you think? Standing for the unborn, because we live in a country and a state that allows the legal slaughter of innocent babies.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Yeah, it needs to be abolished.
Yeah.
Yep. God bless you, sir. See, people don't believe in it, but they don't do anything about it. I bet you if I polled the churches here in Torrington, Winsted, Winchester, they would most of them, besides the liberal rainbow churches, would all say they're against abortion, Bakerville. They don't do anything about it. Heaven forbid we should actually do something. Seventh, eighth grade here at wasn't Wetmore, it was Vogel School, 7th and 8th grade. And that's where my life was beginning to fall apart. My parents' marriage was falling apart, and I got myself in a lot of trouble. Barely passed. I failed most of my subjects. Oh, you're a smart kid, Junior. They called me Junior back then. You're a smart kid, Junior, but you know, your grades don't reflect it. Well, I was in so much turmoil of my own home, my own family, terrible dynamics of my parents, their trouble. Then went to Torrington High School and really actually lived for football. That's all I cared about. Gave me something to do. I was good at it. I was strong. I was fast. Played in Fuchsia's Park all the time, right over there. We used to practice micro midgets and midgets at Fuchsia's Park. Used to run. I could run like the wind. I was telling Kelly today that what I learned, we used to have to do laps. I mean, these were like, you know, ex-military coaches, Bayad and Bakunis, good Butch Cataldo, a bunch of other guys. They would get us in shape, man. They worked us. Bakunis worked us hard. Bayat worked us hard. We'd have to run a half mile just to start practice. 2 laps around Fuchsia's Park. And I believe a lap is a quarter mile. 2 laps, half a mile. That's how you start practice. And I learned very early on that, you know, if you dog it, that's what we'd call it back then in the 60s, 70s. If you're dogging it, and you get in, you got to start calisthenics right away. So you run your lap, 2 laps around Fuchsia's Park, you get in, and you're winded, but you got to start your calisthenics, so you don't have any time to recover. So I discovered that if I raced around Fuchsia's Park, I would have plenty of time to recover. And really, to be in shape really means to the ability for your body to absorb and recover from exercise, absorb oxygen and recover from exercise. And so I'd race around. I'd lap the last guys. I'd lap everybody. I would just, whoosh. I think his name was John Hutchinson. He was the coach of the Torrington cross country team, and he had championship teams, was nationally recognized as one of the best coaches of cross country. And as I was going into Torrington High School, before I got there and I was playing midget football, I'd run like the wind. And he would come down. I didn't know. He would come down. They used to come and watch me run. Run, Forrest, run. I'd run. And as I was going in my freshman year, he kept trying to recruit me to be a cross-country runner, which I could have been. I know I could have been a champion easily, cross-country runner. I could just run. I just knew, I mean, I was in shape and I knew how to run in such a way of the rhythm and the breathing. I just knew how to do it. And I was really, really fast, and I was really good at it, and I could do long distance. I could do short distance too. But if I had to go back again and relive my life, would I become a champion runner? I don't know. I mean, I wish I could live multiple lives and test that life out. I mean, hindsight is 20/20. You know, you see clearly, but I loved football. And during football season, freshman year, loved it here in Torrington. Loved playing football, man. We were undefeated freshman team. We even kicked Ansonia's butt, and Ansonia is the gold standard of football. we kicked their tail. They never forgot that. When we played them a senior year, we lost our heart. We lost our understanding of what a great team we were. Great quarterback, Rob Travella. We had great team, but we just lost our heart. And they beat us like 40-0 or something. But when we were freshmen, they didn't forget. They knew that we had the champion potential as a football team. In off season, I would weightlift. I was small, but I was super strong. I remember this is later on, before, you know, when I was a senior, I was benching 285, could put 2 1/4 on the bar and do warm up of 10, squat 375, deadlift 395. I weighed about 150 pounds soaking wet. Play football, that's all I cared about. The best year of football was when I was a sophomore, because there were all those big seniors like my older brother and Chris Petricone and Ed Rowell and Dean Fretzel. Danny Jacobs was a senior when I was a freshman. I remember seeing him say, that might be like Danny Jacobs. I loved the sophomore year because I got to run up against these big monster guys. And I was little, but I'd run into them. You know, there's fight, flight, or freeze. Growing up the way I grew up, I'm fight. I run at my fears. I remember a very pivotal moment in my life, actually, with Newell Porch, who was just a phenomenal coach. Newell Porch. We used to have to practice I was a sophomore, and they were the second guy from the kickoff team. We would practice against the varsity, junior varsity, and what they did is that they would make a wall, these big monster guys. And so you would kick off to them, and the big monster guys, 5 of them, would all go shoulder to shoulder. The guy would catch the ball behind it, and then they would go like a, you know, mad rush right up the center of the field and, you know, try to score a touchdown. And the only way to stop it was to break the wall. So Newell Porch put me as the kamikaze. That's what we would call it. The kamikaze. I'm waiting to see if she goes by. No, she won't talk. And so what he said is that in order to stop the wall, you have to run into it. You have to break the wall. Again, I was 150 pounds, probably not even 150 pounds as a freshman or as a sophomore. And to practice against the varsity as the kamikaze, Newell Porch said you got to break the wall, and so we'd kick off the ball, and I remember running into the wall. And, you know, I don't know if you ever saw Beetle Bailey cartoons where Beetle Bailey's all chewed up and he's just like this clump of, you know, scribbles. That's what I was like. These guys ran me over, just this little, you know, sophomore with these full-grown seniors. And I remember running into it, and Newell Porch came up and said, "You stuttered. You can't stutter. You have to run full stride into the wall." So I trusted him. And so the next practice kickoff, the next play they kicked off, I ran into that wall. And I did not break my stride. I broke that wall with these big, bold linemen. I busted through the wall and I tackled the guy with the football right in practice. And I earned myself as a sophomore the privileged position of kamikaze for starting. And twice that year, you know, I'd run. And that's what the technique was. You know, you play against a team, they would have a wall and you have to run into it. Twice that season, I broke the wall and recovered the fumble. I broke through the wall, tackled the guy, caused a fumble and recovered it twice as a sophomore. It was awesome. I remember it was against Watertown, my brother's senior year, my sophomore year, first play of the game, kickoff. I ran right into that wall, busted through it, tackled the guy, caused a fumble, and I picked up I saw the ball, and I jumped on it. And as I jumped on it, a guy's cleat got stuck in my face mask. So, and he didn't know, he was just like trying to get his cleat out of my face mask as I'm hanging on to the ball, because I ain't gonna let go of that ball, man. And as he's trying to do it, he's beating up my face. So my face had big scratches of cleats. And I remember running off the field, and Bob Frost, who was the head coach, Robert Frost, not the poet, the football coach. I mean, everybody was fired up, man. And I came right off the field, my face was all bloody. I had that ball, man. I had tears in my eyes. I broke the wall, last game of the season. And then at the beginning of the second half, I remember I ran down and they targeted me. And so as I was running into the wall, this guy from Watertown took a cheap shot and stuck his elbow out just as I was running into the wall. And I still have a scar there. So, and I had a big gash on my chin. So not only did I have streaks of cleat marks all over my face, all bloody and everything, I had a big gaping wound. And you know, I matured early, even though I was a year young. I matured early, so you know, we didn't shave before games. That was kind of being tough. And so I had whiskers that I did not shave, and so I had this big gaping wound on my chin with cleat marks across my face. And later that evening, my mother's like, you gotta go to the hospital for that chin thing. And so then they took a Novocaine and sewed it up. But it was tough because of, you know, the skin was flapping and it was a deep cut, and I had whiskers in it, but they sewed it up. And I remember walking around for a while. I looked tough, man. It was right in Thanksgiving. It was a Thanksgiving day. So for a couple weeks I had scrapes on my face and stitches in my chin, and man, I looked tough. Yeah, I grew up here in Torrington. I was a captain when I was a captain when I was midgets and micro midgets. And I remember saying to Lou Moscatello, the freshman football coach, as we started the season, I said, I want to be captain. And I remember Danny Jacobs was captain of the football team, and I said, I'm going to be captain of the football team when I become a senior. And so I asked Lou Moscatello, Coach Lou, I want to be captain. He says, well, we'll see how you do. And of course, did all right. Became captain, and then eventually was the captain. There's a tri-captain, and the other guys, Mario Bellacci, I think is how you say his name, and Marcus Sparrow. Nice guys. But I was the captain. And they were too, but I was the lead captain of the team. And actually, we didn't do that great. But all through that time, God was getting a hold of my heart. My parents went through a terrible breakdown. They were getting divorced somewhere. I can't remember exactly what age I was. But at some point, my mother became a Christian. I've said this before, anybody who listens to my video.
Back to work better.
Yeah, probably so. That's all right.
I'm sorry, I'm a smart ass.
No, I don't mind.
I don't know. I think I'd rather make somebody laugh than get them mad and punch me in the mouth.
Yeah. Well, for this too. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's too casual about the fact that we're killing little kids.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But they come back from Vietnam doing what their country ordered them, and they were baby killers.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. It's wrong. But what a lot of people don't know, over there, a lot of the baby killers, now they call them suicide bombers and they call them terrorists.
And the real baby killers are mother who, under the guise of law, can murder their own child.
Without
legally
the father's
speaking,
permission.
without the father's permission. Well, even still, I mean, fathers are also murderers as well.
They
Anybody,
let it happen.
yeah, those are the baby killers. They're baby killers, and it needs to be abolished.
Non-personal. I believe women should be treated with respect.
Of course.
And everything like that. But equal rights? No, because they were created different.
Well, equal rights, but equal rights does not mean you have a right to kill another human being, which
No,
these little,
no,
like
no,
that,
not
that
even-
that's an actual picture of a little baby.
I don't know, like, well, I'm saying with equal rights, if you can't carry a toolbox as long as I can, why should you get the same paycheck?
Yeah, I mean.
I'm not trying to be mean. Now, if you go to college and you can sit in front of a friggin' computer and do the same thing I can do in front of a computer,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Well, they call for equal rights now. The equal rights are to kill your own babies, legally
Yeah.
speaking, and that's a shame. But as a Christian, I go to the Bible, and the Bible says, "Thou shalt not murder," and it does say all
Thou shalt
people.
not kill.
Yeah, I mean, right. And
That's
if
another reason why I regret. I was brought up Christian. Do I believe in Christian? Well, I don't know. Because, I mean, I have doubts. You know, I'm a human being. I'm going to have doubts. And one of my biggest doubts is, look around you. Look at all the difference. I don't believe God only has one way to get in heaven. And just because I don't know somebody's name, I'm not getting in.
well, Jesus
I
said,
don't believe God's that stubborn.
Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life, and nobody comes to the Father but by
Jesus
me."
said that, but not our Father said that.
Sure, he did. Nobody.
Do you know any brother that would sit there and say anything? And Jesus was also half man, half you, half God.
Well, all human and all God. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that's the fully God and fully man is the way that the Bible describes it. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. But in the end, you know, Jesus Christ came to show us the Father. So if we want to know what the Father is like, we just need to look at who Jesus is. And the point of Jesus being the Son of God is that when he went to the cross, he died for my sins. The punishment I deserve to go to hell. I've sinned before God, and so have you.
Jesus kidding.
See, the Bible allows there to be anger, but to sin not. Paul says, be angry, but sin not. So anger is not a sin, but if you sin in anger, then you sin. But Jesus never sinned as the Son of God. So that when he went to the cross, when he was punished for my sin, he died as an innocent man who was fully God and fully man.
I would like to believe that, but I have my doubts.
Why?
Well, why do I have my... Okay, number one, God created everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nowadays my biggest problem is the way they're changing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now a lot of people, I hear them, like preachers on TV saying, God is Jesus.
Well, Jesus is God, no doubt.
Three became one, like a mother, a father, and a son becoming a family.
That's not what the Bible says.
They're separate.
What do you think?
They're separate but equal.
What do you think?
I think you're a man holding a sign.
Yeah, because I believe in human rights.
Right.
Can a man?
But you're a man.
Yeah, man.
Never fucking carried a child.
What does that matter? I fathered them. That's a bad argument.
Two people make somebody and one person.
God bless you.
Look somebody up, more.
All you fucking do is...
God bless you.
Quit swearing and grow up. Friggin' crackhead.
God bless you.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I get that all the time.
She does that shit all the time.
Wow.
She sits there and yells at that fucking tree. She gets so fucking cracked out.
Yeah. Yep.
Shut the...
Yep. I mean, biblical Christianity explains everything, like science and logic.
Did man write the book?
God wrote the book through man. That's what it says in the Bible. It says all scriptures.
No perfect man besides what we're taught with Jesus.
Well, there was Adam, but he fell and sinned against God.
Okay, if Jesus died for all sins, past, present, and future, why do we have to be baptized?
He died for the sins of those who will trust in him. See, he died for his sheep. He died for the ones that he intended to save.
Why do I have to be baptized? Why is that a sacrament? Why is that the only way?
We're not saved through baptism. Baptism is an expression of becoming part of the church. If you're a full-grown man or woman or of age and you repent before God and you want to become part of the church, that's how you become. That's the initiation into the church.
Did God create everything?
Of course.
So I'm in God's church no matter where I am. Why do I have to go to somebody else? I'm not trying to be mean.
No. but because
are you
the Lord.
a priest?
Catholic? No, I'm not Catholic.
Or
Pastor. I've been pastor for much of my life. Yes.
Now, did you usually have more than your flock?
What do you mean?
Did you usually have more worldly needs than your flock? Most of your flock, not all of them.
I think so. I mean, no, about the same. About
Okay.
the same.
I'm not trying to, browbeat you. We're just two adults.
Yeah. I'm not
discuss
offended.
things and figure things out.
Mhm.
Now, what it is, my personal opinion, if you want to be like Jesus, why didn't you give everything up and travel around and help people?
Because he only said that to one person. Because I'm supposed to be a responsible husband and father. Could you imagine if I gave away everything and left my wife and kids? God would never approve of that.
Jesus didn't have a wife and kids. Why did you?
Well, Jesus does have a wife. The church. He says, the husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her.
Okay.
Oh my.
Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah.
This came out. This is about Vietnam.
Oh.
Vietnam vets came up with a song that made it popular.
Oh, interesting. Hey, what's your name?
My name's Brian.
Brian, I'm Norman.
Norman.
Nice to meet you.
I never knew too many Normans.
Yeah, my dad's a Norman. Yep.
I can only think of two Normans. My father had a friend, and then I think of Norman Schwarzkopf.
Yeah. Or the guy on Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Norm.
Yeah. Yeah, so, as a Christian, I come out and I evangelize and tell people about how to be saved through Jesus Christ. And I'm a voice for the unborn because I want to abolish abortion.
Yeah.
And so I started a foundation to abolish it.
Yeah.
Not regulate, because a lot of Roman Catholics and pro-lifers say it's okay for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, a heartbeat. No. Right from the moment of fertilization, it's a human being that should have rights.
See, now this is where I get into a little trouble with pro-life people. I have no choice. If you choose to do it, go ahead, but then you go stand before God. Don't expect me to speak for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
I don't believe I have the right to tell somebody, you want to do it? Okay. But if I see you killing an innocent life, don't get mad at me as a man that I fucking stop you any way I see fit.
And the issue is the law. And so,
I'm swearing.
yeah, it's okay. It's the law. I want to change the law that allows it. Just like we don't have the ability to kill anybody, rape anybody. The law stops it. We should stop it so that women cannot legally kill their own children. So I want to pass a law, an abolition bill that will abolish abortion. Just like they abolished slavery, we want to abolish abortion.
Yeah, well, what it is, the big problem is the Supreme Court did it. And a lot of politicians, and me personally, you really need to go to get a college education to sit here, talk about me, find out what I want, get together with a bunch of friends and try. They're not supposed to really pass laws. They're supposed to steer the U.S. population in a direction.
And evaluate the law.
Now, what was it? About 2 or 3 years ago, I'm listening to the radio, and they were talking about laws passed by the state of Connecticut. I didn't talk to any politicians. They passed over 250 laws and never published.
Yeah. No, that's crazy.
This is one they were trying to get passed. If I came into your house and told me to leave, right? They're trying to abolish trespassing.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
They won't. No, they won't even let the cop. They won't even let the cop. You call the cop, tell them to get out. Did you invite them in?
Wow. Wow.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry if you find them in a crumpled mess off the second floor porch. I'm not trying to be mean.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Somebody comes into my home, we have the right for self-defense, and we're supposed to have that right. Yeah.
Connecticut, the Constitution's there. You're trying to tell me I'm legally drunk just because I have warm beer on my breath.
Yeah.
Or I'm legally drunk because there's an open container in the back seat and you smell it out.
Yeah.
You know, it's really messed up. They can force me to take a breath test, but if I know somebody's strung out on heroin, they can't force them to take a blood test.
Interesting. Very interesting.
That's reality, but
yeah.
the siren's gonna fall.
Yeah, no, it seems to be flopping pretty good. Well, it's good talking with you, Brian. You said Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to talk to you. Yeah, I'll see you around. God bless you, sir. Well, anyways, that's my little lecture on Torrington. Yeah, there's the walk-bys that swear and flash the bird. There's not really much that you can do or say. How you doing, sir?
Oh, scared me.
I didn't mean to scare you. What do you think?
What's that?
This is a little baby that was killed legally here in the United States. And so I'm here to try to work towards the abolition of abortion. Because like the Bible says, that all human beings are created in the image of God, and these babies should have equal protection just like you and me.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm standing for.
Yeah. They killed it?
Oh yeah, they kill babies every day. Planned Parenthood right here in Torrington. They kill babies all the time. They hand out pills and the women poisons the baby with malice aforethought. Legally speaking, we can kill other human beings in Connecticut.
Well, I do believe in shooting people that are terrible, not a baby.
Yeah, no, they're innocent. Yeah, if somebody's committed a crime, if they're guilty of something and they've been tried and they did a heinous thing, there may be instances where it's okay. Yep. But the state has to do it, not us. Yeah. Yep.
Maybe.
Yep. How you doing? I'm a voice for the unborn, calling for the abolition of abortion. Yeah. No. Yeah, because I'm a Christian, I want to stand for the voice for these little babies. These little babies, you know, are you a human rights hypocrite? Well, you know, that is, are you one of those terribly inconsistent people who believe that it's okay to murder little human beings in the womb?
Totally.
Yeah, they didn't do anything, but we can legally kill them just because they're not wanted. Not a good thing. No. Yep. But it's a part of my faith in Jesus Christ. Do you believe in Jesus?
Yeah.
You do. Are you a born-again Christian?
I am. What is St. Thomas? Catholic.
Okay. Were you raised Roman Catholic?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in the Roman Catholic Church that are messed up. You know, as a Protestant, I believe in the Bible alone. Yeah. Jesus Christ. We need to go to church, but we don't need a priest to stand between us and God.
Yeah, no.
We don't have to go to confess to a priest.
I was raised like that.
Oh, that's hard. Yeah, that's hard.
I just pray to God.
Yeah, through Jesus.
All right. Hey.
God bless you, sir. Good talking with you. Take care.
See you. All right.
You know, it's interesting. As I've been standing here, hundreds of cars have gone by. Hundreds and hundreds of cars. And they've seen my signs. And you know, we just don't know. We're supposed to, you know, stand for those, to be the voice of the unborn. And sometimes it's hardest to come back to people or places that you're familiar with, that know you. Not that many people know me anymore. It was a long time ago. There are people. I have family here in Torrington. Brother and sister that live here. My parents live in Torrington, Burrville. Friends and relatives. So Well, I'm gonna head up to Litchfield now, and so I think I'm going to pack up my stuff and go up there and pick up some raw milk for my son. Since I'm already over here, it's a long way to go up as a family, so I think I'll start packing up and take a trip up to Litchfield.